Bonjour. Welcome to hogTALK. Got my beauties here. It's a bumper week. It's a bumper week. Look at this. This is one of these first ones are the ones I'm going to go through in a little bit more detail. That's a cover for you. That's when you know the editor wants to sell comics. But that's a lot of fun. This is great. It's a mixed bag. But there's more independence, and I think I can see myself leaning this way with all the independence. But these are the ones I'm going to be going through. Dark Wide. That's very nicely done. Very nicely done. And then from that to something very, very traditional. Little bit of Fantastic Four, issue 1. I've done a nice job of that. That harkens back. It really does harken back to the early to some stuff I used to like years and years and years ago. This, I've always got to go through this. I'm sorry. I know I think I've gone through every issue of this since I started doing the videos. But yeah, that's such a stunning book. And talking of stunning books, that was a good link, wasn't it? This graphic novel. Yeah, I don't know if this is to come out in one go. I don't know if this has come out in one go, but by a guy that does. Anyway, we'll get into it, but that's very nice. Like a Japanese fable samurai thing, but we will get into it. And then these other ones, obviously these are out this week, but like I say, this was a bumper week, so I'm going to talk a little bit about these, but not go in depth. This remains a great read. Mark Waid, as always. Unusual to see this one back in the day. Wildcats. Nice artwork in that, actually. I hadn't seen that artist's work before. Now, J.M. DeMatteis back on Craven the Hunter. There was 4 Spider-Man books this week. 4 Spider-Man books. That's what I'm like I say, I'm not going to go through them all, but I just recommend these ones. Craven, J.M. DeMatteis, classic writer, a bit like Mark Waid. They know what they're doing with superheroes. You're in safe hands. Venom, this remains, especially with Brian Hitch's artwork in this remains a great book. Just consistently a great book. Talking of consistency, this has also been a great book, and it's going to be under the helm of John Romita Jr. on the art duties. And I'm unsure about this one, but we're going to show you why I think I'm unsure. I've got the first 2 issues of it, but yeah, let's go through it. I want to go through it together and see what you think. But I'm not saying it's really bad, but with Amazing Spider-Man, what I'm thinking is I don't know why they're both. Well, come on, I don't know why they're both on the shelf, because you can get double the money from one character. But just want to talk about why you should have one core book. I think you should have one core book, and then the others. Like, I mean, over at DC, they're doing a fantastic job of the Batman books, making each one distinct and telling a different story, or from a different side, or from a different, just maybe back in time a little bit. Maybe an Elseworlds-ish kind of thing of shtick. But anyway, that is a full bag of goodies there for this week. So I'm looking forward to getting into them. So join me after the scroll, and we'll get into it. Right, let's start off with this lurid comic cover. It says everything. It does everything it says on the tin. Nice, lurid, pulpy cover. Pulp noir, little byline by Ed Brubaker, who's obviously class act. Hard Case Crime. Love this logo. I've got some books. Titan Comics. So this is an English, put together in England, etc., etc. It's an issue 3, but I got straight into it. Like I say, this comic does everything it sets out to do on the tin. All a little bit of Rudy, but this is a pulp, big guns in the foreground, bit of action. You get the backstory. you know, I'm getting the mystery of the first 2 issues I've missed, you know, but it's done in a way that doesn't mean I can't enjoy this issue, if that makes sense. So I'm recommending it, and I will be getting the first 2 issues of this, and I know they do 1,001 different, even more lurid covers to it. You know, in the variants world, with obviously, you know, this is their selling point. But come on, guys, there's nothing wrong with giving people what they want every now and again. You know, like that little bit of red meat, or that little bar of chocolate, or that little bag of crisps, or whatever it is. But I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. This is the kind of artwork I'm saying that they do different. Is that Sinkovich? That's Sinkovich cover. So I really did enjoy that, and it's just like they say on the cover, hard-boiled crime or hard-nosed crime, you know, whatever you want to call it. This is a serious read. Now, this is book 11. Now, I haven't read the first 10 books, but I found this to be an intriguing, obviously with James Tynion writing it, an intriguing first part. The way it starts off, very cinematic in its approach. This was, I found, and a really nice art style. Really nice art style by Alvaro Martinez Bueno. Jordi Belair does the colours, as always, does a stand-up job for DC. And I don't know, I just really liked this story. Just gives you enough of the, you know, the mystery of the past that they're obviously going to go back to with the characters. Just really nice. It's lovely art. This is, you know, it was very cinematic and very modern. I found this to be, you know, but in a cinematic way, like yeah, that's the only way I can describe it. Actually, it's just converting novels into books almost. Novels into comic books. Sorry. This is lovely colouring. This is lovely colouring to accentuate the different. You know, flashback, present day, etc., etc. Very nice, you know, stuff like this I really love. Stuff like this I really do love. Just to give that pause. You know, I'm not a smoker, but just that exhale, and then the first word, and we're back into it. Like we're snapped out of that pause. Yeah, just really enjoyed. The only thing I can put it up on, I don't know if this is going to come off on the camera, is where they've obviously blacked everything out. In the printing process, it's kind of picked out the 2 different types of black they've used, where the artist has used the black, and then when someone's come across and blacked out more, because you can see gaps. You can see 2 different kinds of black, which I couldn't make out at first. I thought, is that intentional, or don't know. Don't think it is. Yeah, this just really nice stuff. Look at that. Very simple colour palette, but very impactful within the story. So yeah, really did enjoy that. And again, it's book 11, so I've come on really late with that. But that will make a cracking graphic novel. This is my tide. This is tying for book of the week this week. This is issue 2. No, issue 2. I thought this was absolutely fantastic. I really did. I don't know what caught my eye particularly about this comic. The artwork is good. No, there is nothing wrong with it. I mean, it may have been this. I think this is fantastic. Style of artwork suits, and again, another modern story. It suits it really well, and there's a nice little twist at the end, and it's another modern horror tale, but this issue 2 is still a bit more of a build-up. It had some funny moments in it. It had quite a few funny moments in it actually, that really does, and I ain't going to show you the last page. There were some really nice funny moments in this, including in the dialogue. So it won't, you know, it's not just like visual gags, and they've dropped enough clues into to the further story. And this woman who's just got a job at the amusement park where the story is centered around. This is the father and daughter, and I'm not going to show anymore because it just sets up enough in a really, really professional way. And I love that cover. I love that cover. I don't know if it was Andre Bressan. Is that his? No, that ain't his. I don't know out of what one of them done this cover, but definitely that drew me to it. And like I say, tied, I would say a good tie book of the week, and it's two books that, this is the other one that couldn't be any different. Beautiful J. Scott Campbell cover. I had to get that. I'm not a variant guy, you know. I'm not that guy anymore. I wouldn't say I was even mad about it back in the day, but I was certainly a bit more enthusiastic than I am now for variants. But J. Scott Campbell cover, I couldn't resist. And this book, like I said in my intro, this harks back to when Fantastic Four was good. Now the writing in this is good. This is a nice little setup. It feels like a reboot, which is nice. Let's just concentrate on the title, eh? Oh my God, can we please? I didn't know if I was going to like this version of the thing or the artist's take on it, but I do. There's something about it that's different enough for me, I've got to admit. And lovely colours by Jesus Arbutov, however you pronounce his name. Apologies if that I do my best with his name. So artist is Ibn Coelho. Ryan North, that's a nice one not to mispronounce. It was on the writing duties, Ryan North. Ben and Alicia. This issue is just them. And do you know what? There's no multiverse in it. This is a simple story of just one character of the Fantastic Four. Like I say, feels like a reboot. Very well written, very well drawn, and coloured. And enough intrigue. We don't know where this comes from. We can probably guess, but maybe not. And it looks like it just, what we're doing is we're getting the heart of Ben Grimm. That's what we're getting, Ben and Alicia. So the best FF books from yesteryear were when they were a family unit and they had as much personal, and you think, and this applied to Spider-Man as well, when they had as many personal problems as they had galaxy saving problems. Not for Spider-Man, for FF now. And it's going back to the classic thing of, you know, they're in the wilderness in America, and Alicia warns Ben that, you know, they haven't really heard a lot of Fantastic Four out here. So we're back to basics. We're back to basics. How nice is this? How nice is this to get back to basics? Now, I'm a geekyOlhog that's seen it all before, but it's nice to go back there after all of everything going on, of trying to reinvent these superheroes that have been around, well, this lot now, what, 60 years? It is difficult. But I'll tell you what, this is fantastic. Haha, just realised I said that. This is a fantastic new start to, yeah, and I'm going to say it, rebooting Fantastic Four. And let's bring on some stories. Let's start here. Start with the basics on the ground, with the family connections or the love connect, whatever you want to call it, the heart of the characters. Otherwise, when you put them out into space and put them up against Galactus or whoever, I suppose it might be Kang, you know, blah blah blah. It's just nice stuff. And like I say, don't expect it. It's a good story in and of itself, as in a grounded. Like there's no, you know, Silver Surfer don't turn up, nor does Galactus. But I think it's just giving us, I like the way they rolled over the panels into the page as well. I just think it's leading us up the garden path. But without this, without all of this, like I say, everything becomes meaningless. If it's just a thing and he's another superhero, and yeah, really did enjoy that. I might not be selling that for you, but bear in mind we get these two next week. Perhaps it changes up a gear. Buy this cover, may be, but I've got a feeling it's just going to be them two on a little. I don't know. On like a little honeymoon weekend or something. But anyway, let's see. But I really did enjoy that, and this I've just got to go through this just to get it out of my system and show everyone, just in case you haven't seen any of my other videos and you think all these. This has been. I'm just showing off the artwork for this just quickly because I'm leaving it to read until the next issue comes out next month because it messed with my melon. And I think reading it in its entirety in one go, or two, in one sitting or two sittings, I think is going to pay off more. And that's the only reason. Look how beautiful that artwork is. And I just can't praise this book enough. And obviously it's not that the story is confusing. I've got to issue 2 or 3 and I just thought, no, do you know what, I want to read this. I don't want to wait a month between. I just want to read it as a whole, as it was intended. Like this is obviously a stream of consciousness coming out of Liam Sharp, and I want to read it. Look at this, beautiful. Reminds me of Simon Bisley a little bit actually. But better. Sorry Simon, I love you as well, but this is here in front of me and I love it. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, this stuff, and evocative of the location where the story is set, the locations where the stories are set. And look at that, that's what you call a double page spread. Marvellous, absolutely marvellous. Again, beautiful stuff. I can't make this my comic of the week this week, otherwise every time this comes out, I don't know if that's allowed or not. Look, beautiful. Last issue next month of that story, but I had to go through that. Now obviously this is superb, but I kind of haven't included it in my, this is a pick of the week, let's call it the top graphic novel. By Ryan Lang, who does work in the film and animation industries. He worked on Wreck-It Ralph and Moana and a few other, and a couple of Marvel movies as well, but obviously maybe in storyboarding or whatever. And I won't flick through every page of this book, but I just want to show you how lovely this, it's got a very I'm trying to think of the cartoonist whose work on, but this is, you can tell he's trained in animation by the look on it was that face in these faces in particular actually that reminded me of an animator, Chuck Jones, who done the early Warner Brothers cartoons, and he's a 6-inch samurai. And it's based on an old Japanese fable. Look at this, is lovely. And whatever way this is done, I don't know what way the guy did his art, whether it was on it almost looks like it was done on animation cells, almost like it just has a certain feel to it. And the choice of doing it in greys is a brave one. Is a very brave one. I don't know whether or not this book would have benefited, or it would have made it 4 times as expensive, maybe, to do it in colour. But nevertheless, nothing's lost because of his art, and like that very economic style that animators use, that animators have to develop, because they can't give it tons of cross hatching and all that. And this is coloured by Ryan as well, so fair play to him. But I just thought I'll show you a little bit. I highly recommend this. Highly recommend it. The story, it isn't anything that's it's satisfying. It's satisfying. That's the best way I can describe it, story wise. It really is. You know, the hero's quest, the hero's journey, whatever you want to call it, that classic, but set in feudal Japan with these flourishes. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Nice. This is nice stuff, and quite pacey as well. Where it needs to be. It's quite pacey. Look at this. That's beautiful. Look at the dappled light he's put on these on the Bambies here. Look. How nice that. Here he is. Look. Look. This is great stuff. That's. It's almost like this is a storyboard for a film, actually. Lovely. You know, what's that? Totoro, the studio that does the animated stuff, and that Studio Ghibli, is it? Ghibli, whatever it is. It's almost like they could do a version of this. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Recommend it. Isenboshi. Go out and get it from your local comic book store. And then a few of the others this week. I've been through this every time it's come out, and it is still delivering. I love this book. Mark Waid can't do any, and Mahmoud Asrar, these guys, the artists, and obviously Geordie Belair, who was doing the lake, the colouring on the lake one. You just can't underestimate how much power the colours bring to this, or to any comic when it's done well. But in conjunction with penciler, inker, and the writer, I think Mark Waid is just delivering. This book again just delivers. I won't flick for everything. That's just me keeping on banging on about recommending certain books. This is another book I've been recommending, and I know there's a lot of Spider-Man. There's a lot of Spider-Man books, but this Venom. Look at this artwork by Brian Hitch. He's having a ball doing this. I know it's, you know, we're kind of used to his work, or not used to his work, his style on Ultimates, but he's doing it again with this, and I think it makes this book refreshing for a Venom story for me. That's the only reason I'm picking the book up. I would never go near a Venom book. Beautiful stuff, look. Love it. And again, I'm not going through the whole thing because I've recommended Venom before. That's one of 4 Spider-Man books. Here we go with the other one I bang on about. And obviously, you know, with John Romita Jr., you just can't go wrong. This story's romping along and getting better and better. A more action-packed issue this month to follow on from last month's quite sedate storytelling, and you've got a couple of threads there going through. Love it. Love it, John Romita Jr. Like I say, so that's Spidey book number 2. Spidey book number 3. Now, this Spider-Man, I think what it is with this one is the multiverse stuff. Because obviously these boys here, Dan Slott and Mark Bagley, John, you can't tell me they can't tell a Spider-Man story. They can, and this is wonderful stuff. But what I think it is, why I'm enjoying Amazing is because of, I think it's just this. It's my pure personal. That's why I've included it in here, because they're not doing anything wrong as such. You know, it's just my personal choice. But I thought, you know, I'm going to give it a couple more issues. I'm not saying I detest the book. It's just that multiverses or too many multiverses and too many characters and too many crossovers and too much going on, for me, dilutes any impact you're going to want. I mean, I love that they've done all this stuff like I did last month, but they're doing it again, so it's going to get overused and it's going to get very typical. So, you know, what I'm trying to get at is, I'm not trying to put anyone off this comic, because I know a lot of people will really enjoy the multiverse stuff and all the different characters, and you know, and I don't mind it every now and again, but just following it month after month after month after month, they're going to do that. I mean, look, here we go, look, that's fine, but just, yeah, third, that's the the third the third out of 4. Wow. And here's the 4th one. I did enjoy this. It's the return of, well, I say return, I don't know where it's been because I haven't been around, but J.M. DeMatteis, who wrote a lot of the early stuff, a ton of Marvel. I don't know if he wrote for the other DC lot, but this is just all class. This is classic. This is a classic tale. This one, you know, Krakatoa and all that. So I'm just gonna give you a little flavour of this one because obviously it's 4 Spider-Man books. You know, this is nice. This is nice. But I just wanted to, you know, give it an honourable, let's say an honourable mention. I enjoy these storylines. Beautiful cover, by the way, as well. Beautiful cover with his arm around there, and he's, you know, nice and abstract design. Unusual that they went for a cover like that on a Spider-Man book, actually. That abstract. And look who's back. Look who's back. Now, it's only a limited series, so I thought I'd give it a crack because I wasn't their biggest fan when Image first come out. But I've got to admit, I've enjoyed this issue as a first issue. One thing I will say is it relies a lot on you knowing quite a lot about the Wildcats, and I think they have brought out a Wildcats reboot issue thing or something. So I think DC are ahead of me there. But if you just pick this comic up as a #1 and thought, oh, this looks good and it's got some, you know, it's a good superhero group and all the rest of it, you're missing out on a bit if you haven't read Wildcats before. They don't do the intros properly. You know, it's nice for Nightwing to turn up and Batgirl and that. It's nice to see these. That's what made it a bit different, and I did enjoy it. It's a very enjoyable. This is a very enjoyable story. They've set it up. They've set up the kind of mystery of it well, or the mission and the mystery and the dynamic of the group. But yeah, if it wasn't designed as a reboot, I suppose perhaps I'm being a bit too harsh on it. But I did enjoy it. Like I say, I've only had a quick flick through there. It's just good to see these guys back in action again, to be fair, these characters. But weren't their biggest fan, but again, an honourable mention. Oh, good old Fairchild. Excuse me. Good old Fairchild. What's there not to like? Ta-da! Trying to stop them. And on that bombshell, on that Green Arrow, bomb-laden arrow crunch, I will leave it there for this week with Wildcats, and hope you enjoyed that rummage through this week's bits and pieces, and I will bid you adios.